Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My bad, realist. I know I was supposed to did this yesterday, but some things came up. So, you got to take care of certain things first. But good afternoon, everybody. As always, I will give people time to come in before I start my conversation. Word, good. I almost said good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Diane. How you doing? All right, so let's just go ahead and start the conversation. Um, you know, when you on your purpose and your mission, right? Or your goal, however you want to look at it, you sit there and you evaluate. Sometimes you have a tendency of over evaluating certain things, right? For example, you could sit there, you could sit there and see the good in somebody, right? You see all of their attributes, and you might see it better than that person can. So we got a tendency of holding on to things just because we see things differently, or we have a better view on a person who may not have a view on themselves. And we have a tendency to carry that and lean on that as we go forward, you know, building, sometimes it forces us to build a relationship with somebody, or not build it, a relationship, for, let's just say, force, force the relationship because you see so much in that person, but you want to bring it out of them. That is putting a lot on a plate that you have. That is putting more on your plate sometimes than you can bear. And that becomes your baggage because you say to yourself, yo, I see his potential. I see her potential. I would love to collaborate with that person. I would love to just speak to that person on the side. And sometimes it's just not it's not even healthy, let alone it's worth it, right? All because that person can't get out of their way sometimes. And we trying to get them through it. That's putting baggage on that's adding baggage to our load. And we're trying to go forward even in spite of, right? We all got a message. We all got insight. We all got thoughts. But if we sitting there carrying all this baggage, somewhere down the line it's gonna be heavy. Somewhere down the line, it may distract you from your actual light. It may be a shade to the light that you're trying to display for other people that that was given unto you. So the question is, how do we let that go? How do we let that baggage go? How do we not feel the guilt of leaving a person behind? How do we, how do we let go of the fact that it just didn't work? But shout out to the word, because the word always tells you, or he tells, on his content, that it's just not for everybody. Whatever you doing, whatever you saying, it may not be for everybody. And so you got to stop feeling guilty about the things that isn't working for somebody else, because you could be doing your damnedest, right? And it just not being received. So sometimes, you gotta be like Jesus, and dust the dust off dust the dust off your feet and keep it moving. It doesn't mean that you know you failed. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that it didn't work for that person. We have to understand we're not going to be received by our very own people, right? We understand that in the Bible that Jesus wasn't accepted by his own. As a matter of fact, his own put him on the cross. Whether they understood it was the right thing, afternoon watermelon, whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing, you're not going to be accepted by your own. The majority of us always have a tendency, to want to do the best for our families, want to do the best for our friends. And we have so much for them that we take from ourselves, right? A butterfly told me, listen, you got to drop your baggage, because if you don't drop the baggage, it's gonna hinder you from you moving forward. It's it might tear your back up, because you already feel like you got so much to carry. And I agree with that, right? Because at the end of the day, I can't keep worrying about somebody or some things that's not going to be receptive of what I'm trying to give them, right? For example, I don't know if we all been through this, right? You see a homeless person, right? And then you say, all right, they ask you, do you have any change to spare? And then they turn around and you say, no, but I can go get you some food. And then they turn around and say, I don't want the food. I just want the change. You saying to yourself, I'm trying to make sure that you got food in your stomach, and you worrying about the change. I don't even care how much. Good afternoon, Maurice. I don't care, what the change is going to. I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing by trying to feed you, and you want something else. And that's how it is, doing these lives sometimes, right? You think you're doing the right thing. You think you're saying the right things. You think you encouraging somebody, and they want it for another reason. Some people will use it to make your good evil spoken of. Some people will use it just to smear it and make it mean something else. But in your heart of hearts, you know why you're doing this. You know why, you push live and talk. Thank you, Maritza. You do it because at the end of the day, you think you're doing the right thing. You think you're doing it. Well, I know I'm doing the right thing. But even with all that baggage on your back, you start to lose the knowing, and then you start to believe, which allows doubt to enter into your mind and say, yo, now you don't know if you're doing the right thing. I think I'm doing the right thing. I believe I'm doing the right thing, because doubt has entered your mind, because you got so much baggage on your back that you decide, yo, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's a discouragement in a way, because you start to doubt that nobody's receiving what you're saying, nobody understanding what you're saying, somebody's misconstruing what you're saying. And at the end of the day, it's like, no, I'm not. It's not even about that. It's about you doing what you know is right. You encouraging is the right thing. You trying to uplift is the right thing. You knowing that there's something better for somebody is the right thing. But if you got those doubters that don't believe in themselves and you trying to bring them along, bring them along, bring them along, it dulls your light. It dulls your light because you're so busy worrying about them that you can't see what's in front of you, right? When you in your car, there's a reason why the rear view mirror is small and your windshield, the windshield is that big because we're supposed to be looking forward. But those with the kind hearts, I am guilty. I have a tendency of worrying about those that I leave behind, those that I'm supposed to leave behind. That's why it's called baggage for me because I'm so busy. Like, yo, you can do better. Listen, I'm here for you. I'm this, that, and the third. I get caught up in it as well. So as I'm speaking to you, I'm pointing the fingers at myself too because I am guilty of that. You just want the best for everybody, but in the reality of the world, everybody don't want the best for themselves. If everybody wanted the best for themselves, there would be no no confrontations between right and wrong, good or evil, yin or yang, however you want to look at it. The balance would be so far off. Somebody asked me before, what happens if what would have happened if the devil didn't persuade Eve to eat the fruit? My answer is this: it would have been a bunch of perfect kids that would have grown and been perfect because there was no distraction behind them, right? If she don't eat the fruit, they go on and have Cain and Abel. They It's all good in the world because there's no other thoughts of doing, being persuaded. There's no wrong in the world. There's no wrong in the Garden of Eden. So therefore, there will be good fruit all over the world right now. The world will be perfect, but we have to come to an understanding that it has to be balanced because, quote unquote, she ate the fruit. That's why we have free will. We thank God for free will, but we also have to understand that the free will is going to put baggage on us because we want to do the right thing, but wrong is lurking behind us. Crabs in the barrel is an example of baggage because somebody's trying to pull you down while you trying to come up. They have their own baggage. They want misery loves company. So they want you to be miserable with them because they won't let go of their baggage. We all have a light. Let's get this out the way. We all have a light. The light of energy, positiveness, so on and so forth. We all have that. But because we have so much baggage that it gets dull, we won't let it go. Some people have been through traumatic childhoods and they can't let that go. Some people have been through traumatic relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, families, dynamics. They can't let it go. But we all have that light. We all have that energy to be an influence, an encouragement, the light, a beacon of light. Like, yo, we can be better. But as long as we carrying our baggage, it's gonna get dull. So how do we do that? How do we get through that? Right? We get through it by working on getting that baggage out of our life. No, I guess it's going to be easier said than done, but we got to do the work. Sometimes if you love, when you love something, you're going to make time for it, right? We can all agree with that, right? So if you love, like, I love doing what I'm doing because I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm doing the right thing. One is helping somebody. Two, that's all that's what keeps me going forward. That's what keeps me my eyes going forward. Now you look in the rearview mirror just to make sure there's nothing coming behind you to slow you up. There's nothing behind you, trying to impede your movements. That's why we look at the rear view. But at the end of the day, we all supposed to be keep looking forward. But because we have the baggage, we ain't doing the speed limit. It's wearing on our tires. It's slowing us down. Not not because you're stepping on the brake. That thing is heavy. Is slowing down your momentum. How do we get through that? The word says. I had a discussion with a brother about that. If Eve didn't eat the fruit, no menstrual cycle, no kids. Just that too. So, but the point is that everything will be hunky dory, right? There will be no problems in the world. There will be no discussions about right or wrong. There will be no discussions about in, insecure insecurity or security. There'll be no discussions about that because everything would be smooth sailing. But we understand that in our lives ain't nothing smooth sailing. So you know we gotta we gotta understand how this thing goes, right? Five were wise and five were foolish. That's what Diane says. Watermelon said, "Don't pollute your good fruit with an old nasty garbage juices." Yeah, it's just like when I was talking about the storehouse, right? You got to make sure that the what's in your storehouse is fruitful for somebody that's going to need it. We need to get rid of these baggages that's on our backs. We need to get rid of these baggage that we keep carrying. Now you carry baggage, to change your clothes, to when you're going on a trip, change your clothes, you know, uh bars of soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, you take your travel necessities. But for some reason we take these problems that people have and we carry it. I know I do. I'm raising my hand as I'm speaking because at the end of the day, I know I do that. You absolutely right, Diane. And that's another conversation. But at the end of the day, we because they were together, they both fell. You understand what I'm saying? But in this particular case, if we don't let go of our baggage, like okay, well, let's just go with that right real quick, Diane, right? Because Adam was doing so much, he forgot to, he didn't even set the rules like, yo, babe, don't go eat the fruit. He never they couldn't have had that conversation because if they did have that conversation, she would have had no doubt about eating this thing because she was told not to. You understand what I'm saying? We have to understand, like, we can't be so curious about what the other person is doing that if they're not doing the right thing, we can't keep just pulling over to the side of the road and say, you know what, I got to go check on that person. No, we might be 200 miles away. We might be too far gone. But some of us, we have the tendency of going back to go check on said person, not even resolving the problem. We just pick up the bag and go back on. We're delaying ourselves from the trip that we need to go forward with. We're delaying ourselves from the message that we're supposed to be doing. We're delaying ourselves from a better future for ourselves, our families, our loved ones. Like we so busy worrying about generational curses that we don't even see that we could be a generational wealth. We have that tendency all because people don't want to understand we got to go forward and not carry these baggage with us. You understand? Stop carrying these baggage. Let it go where it needs to go. If it belongs in the trash, put it in the trash. If you want to put it in storage, you're going to have to pay for it down the line. That's why you're supposed to, when you move, you make sure you're ready to move. Stop putting things in storage because you're going to pay for it down the line. The bill always going to come due. And if the bill always going to come due, you're either going to pay it or you're going to lose whatever service that you paying for. So if we're going to lose that baggage, we might as well throw it in the trash. There's no need to store it. You understand what I'm saying? The word said yes. In fact, we would be ignorant to a lot of things that actually don't matter sometimes. We make things problems that aren't really problems. If that no, it do make sense because we're giving more credence to a thing that that ain't even worth it, right? Instead of letting, instead of letting go, for example, if we don't wash our dishes, right? We let the dishes stay dirty for a couple of days. I know people ain't there. I'm just making a point. The food that stays on those dishes, it's gonna get hard. Now you got to work harder. Good afternoon. We got to work harder to clean those dishes instead of just soaking it. So that way, when we do get back to it, it'll be easy to clean the plate. Sometimes we just throw the dish in the sink and just let it sit there. Well, I got to go to work. Oh, damn, I forgot to do the dishes. It might be a day later. Oh, damn, I got another plate. Let me not clean that plate. Let me just throw this new dirty plate that I made into the sink. We have a tendency of doing that because at the end of the day, we're so busy, making moves. We're on a fast track. We're trying to keep pace with certain things that we forget the little things. So too is the baggage in our life. We so busy going forward that we forgot we got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of that relationship that meant us no good. But we hold on to it. We bring it to the next relationship, whatever it is. Whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, we bring baggage. Why do we do that? Why do we not just come with a clear conscience, with a clear mind, with a clean slate, a clean plate? Because as long as we carrying that baggage, it's dimming our light. We need to follow our light. Our light is telling us, yo, listen, there's brightness ahead of us. There's a life ahead of us. But as long as we bring these bags with us, we slowing ourselves down. How do we get rid of it? We work on it. We clean the plates. We let the things soak before we wash everything off there. We need to wash it off. We need to wash those pains of yesterday off. We can't keep sitting here worrying about, well, Billy Bob did this to me, or Jane Doe, she hurt me. We got to let that go because as long as we carry that going forward, we're not going to see the clearness of the light that's in front of us. We're blocking out, we're dimming out the light. We're making sure we're doing things half-heartedly. We're not searching things the way that we need to search it, all because of the baggage that we have. And we can't keep going forward like that. We can't keep doing that because as long as we doing that, the flame may go out on our light, or the light might be the light may be blocked. Well, if it's sunlight, it might be it might be blocked by the moon. If it's a candlelight, somebody could blow it out, just like a birthday cake. You blow out make your wish. We might not be making the right wishes because the light is gone. We have to understand that the baggage that we are carrying is not productive. If it's not productive, we have to leave it where it is. Leave it. Dust your shoes off and go forward. Everybody's not here for us. You know what I mean? Some people may use your kindness for a weakness. I know that's happened to me. But we can't allow that to keep going forward because if we allow it, then we're going to be stuck in a place that we shouldn't even be in anymore. The hindrance of being in a place that we don't belong. You are delaying future blessings. You are delaying, you are delaying yourself from being an encouragement to somebody else. Those people that failed their test, they can't tell a testimony because they failed their test. It's not even a testimony. It's just a downfall. When you pass your test, you could tell how far you came. Just imagine all the people that, have lost parents already. They want so badly to tell their success, their testimony, but they can't tell it no more because they're gone. But we have to understand it. As long as we ain't carrying the baggage of missing them and showing them that they love has driven us to do what we needed to do as far as what we thought they would want us to do, and we succeed, that's your testimony. The baggage is left behind because you did what you thought they would want you to do. You succeeded in whatever whatever aspect that you thought they would want you to succeed in, and you did it. That's how they live in your. That's how people live in your heart. That's how you leave the baggage behind. Because if you would have brought the baggage with you, you may not even succeeded in what they wanted you to do in the first place. So those are the things that we have to focus on. We have to focus on the fact that we can't carry everybody's burden. We can't. I'm glad you have that testimony, Meek, because if you didn't, like, you one of the strongest people that I met on here so far, because you stepped out on the belief and the faith of knowing that, there's something better for me out there, even if it's not ready for me yet. You stepped out on it. Urban, good afternoon. You stepped out on it because you felt in your heart of hearts, you went beyond believing. You knew that you had to do that. You left the baggage of whatever happened in the state before. You knew that you can do better where you was at now. You left it there. Not everything, because some of the things that was good you take with you, of course, but you don't take the negative with you. You don't take the fact that, I didn't do well in that state. I might have failed, in Meek's case, I might have failed in not having my own, shop. She could be working on that right now. And even when even that she's not getting the things the way she wanted right now, she's still going forward. That could be her. She's leaving the baggage of not having what she want right now. She's leaving it where it's at and still going forward. That's why her success is going to come, because she's leaving it where it's at. But some of us have a tendency of bringing the bad garbage into a clean home, into a clean environment. And we can't succeed because you can't do that. New wine can't go into an old bottle, right? Even if we're poor, right? When we made Kool-Aid, we had to clean that daggone pitcher out. All right, I know some of y'all might not remember Kool-Aid and all that. I might be showing my age, but you clean the pitcher out. You don't want that fruit punch. You don't want that grape to taste like fruit punch. You clean it out. You make it a new thing. That's what we need to do with our lives. We need to make sure that our light ain't being blocked. We need to make sure that the baggage that we carrying is not. It shouldn't even be hurting us. It should be helping us. But a lot of us carry our negative aspects, our negative attributes into, shut up, Meek, grape, into our future endeavors. We got to leave those behind. Leave the fact that, we was under attack behind. We just got to remember that we need to remember, if it happens again, we should be prepared for it. But we don't need to bring the whole scenario with us. We got to continue to be the beacon of light. We got to continue to be the positive people that we are for our future journeys. Just imagine if people wasn't running around speaking the gospel after they saw Jesus on the cross. No one would know the testimonies. No one would know the stories. If the writers didn't write it down, we wouldn't know. And they paid their price. They became martyrs. Some of them got hung upside down. Some of them got killed, But the fact of the matter is, we keep going with what we have. We don't bring all the negative attributes. We don't bring the heaviness of the baggage of yesterday. We make it light enough for us to flow into our light. We flow into our future endeavors. Whether it's, being a positive, being a positive coach, or being, someone who is speaking the word. Shout out to Shay Love. Listen, I suggest those that's really into spirituality, the ways of the Lord. Y'all follow her, please. She has that amazing energy to where it don't matter if she failed. She ain't bringing that with her to her future endeavors. She's going to do what she needs to do. She's going to speak for the Lord no matter what came in her way. It's that energy, it's that light in her that allows her to keep pushing forward and not put nothing on her back that ain't worth having. She's not going to carry that baggage. So for those of you that need that type of energy, I suggest you follow her. Follow the word, because the word, he's outstanding. He goes into many different avenues, right? But it's always to the point of where we can do better. He's not carrying his baggage. You know what I mean? And he knows he has baggage, but he's not letting it stop him from being the word. It's a reason why he says he comes from the raptures, right? We already spoke about meat. What I'm saying is we're not allowing the baggage to keep us from going where we need to go. Each and every one of us has light. We have that light of being a very positive, a very influential person to guide somebody into wherever they need to go. That's why we're on here. We're not just here to be monetized. We're not just here to just throw something on the wall and see if it sticks. No, we are knowing that what our light is beneficial to each and every person that hears it. And if it ain't for everybody, we know it's for one. And we understand that one could win 1,000. We understand that. So because we're doing that, we know we're doing the right thing. But we are not going to allow our baggage to slow us down. We are not going to let yesterday keep us from today and tomorrow. That's what this is all about. That's what it is. We can't keep putting people's burdens and people's problems on our plate to eat it. We're not. That's not what our plate is for. Our plate is to make sure that we can have more than we can have enough to bear. That's where that expression comes from. Don't put more on your plate than you can bear. God won't do it. Sometimes we get in our own way. And I know for sure we all have been in our own way from blocking the blessing that God has for us because of our baggage, because of our doubts, because of whatever negative attribute is stopping us from going forward. We have been there and done that. I'm the first person that comprehended the 33. Word, and it's crazy, right? Because I promise you, word, I need to holler at you because I want to do something for religious reasons. As far as I know like Ash Wednesday and all of that is coming. I think people like, if you, for example, right, if we're gonna be like Christ, right, we should be like Christ. So that means we gotta fast for 40 days and 40 nights. We should be giving something up to be that light that the Lord would want us to be, right? So I'm thinking, okay, we got to give something up, right? The fast is necessary. I'm thinking, even if Atmosphere were here, I would tell them the same thing. Atmosphere, I think we should, make a plan for people that's going to fast to have a meal prepared, when their fast is over. I know that, Tay is on. No, Meek, I think she said she had to go back to work. Um, I know that Tay, she's the chef. So I was thinking if she would do something to where people that's gonna fast, how to prepare some foods for them to fast. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of time that I'm trying to be on right now, because at the end of the day, when that time comes, I would explain like how to fast, as far as, giving certain things up, but they would have to be willing to do it. But as far as, preparing like a meal, you know what I mean? I would rather her, have, she does, the vegan food. I think people should go vegan for 40 days just because they're giving up the flesh of the meat, because a lot of people supposed to be giving up meat during Lent anyway. Three wise men, 3 days at a time, third day he rose. Third, three, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Yeah, the Trinity is, and that's what I'm saying. The threes are, as far as that, the threes, that it means that, but it also means if you're going to be Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, you're going to have to Atmosphere. All right. So you heard me. So I'll get back to that in a second. But the fact of the matter is, when you are in that attribute, you have to sacrifice something. And if it means you got to sacrifice that baggage of garbage in order for you to get to where you need to get to because you like helping people, sacrifice that garbage. Sacrifice that junk so you could be the better you that you could be, the best you that you can be. If you keep holding on to that, you will keep being stuck in the mud. You will be in quicksand, and we know quicksand. A lot of people, excuse me, ain't getting out of that. Right. And that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna be these people, if you're gonna be these lights, you gotta prepare yourself to be a light. You can't keep me wallowing in the pig pen and think you're gonna be clean. That's not how this works. So stop carrying these baggages and focus and follow your lights. That's not just for people here, that's for people everywhere, right? Because at the end of the day, we know that we all have good attributes. We all have the things that we can be our best, our greatest. But you still need to sacrifice the stuff to be great. You got to work harder than everybody else to be great. If you're gonna be the best quarterback, you're gonna stay still and throw 1,000 passes to the left, to the right, to the middle. Prepare yourselves, scramble if you're going, you know what I mean? If you under pressure, right? If you're gonna be the best hairstylist, you're gonna take the time to say, well, I know how to do I know how to do a sewing, I know how to do a weave, I know how to do a wig, I know how to do the edges so your hair won't be looking crazy. You want to take that time. Realist, good afternoon. Realist gonna take the time and say, you know what? I like the rap scene. So I'm gonna sit there and take the time. I'm gonna know these people. I don't follow, I don't follow today's rap, but realists do. So he's gonna know who's spitting the fire that makes sense and rock with it. He's not gonna say, well, Flavor Flav is still a man. He's not. He understands that today rap is not yesterday's rap. It may be a homage to it. That may be his opinion, but he knows that today rap is today's rap, and he's gonna have to take the time to study it to be the best evaluator of rap that he can be. Yeah, but they don't understand that word. They don't understand what the numbers really mean, and that's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, we all have a purpose. We all have meaning in this world. And as long as we carrying our baggage, we can't be our best selves. We can't even see the light that we have to go forward. We can't see that we can be, we could be change makers. We could make a change, but it always going to start with you. Because as long as you point, like I said earlier, as long as you point the finger at somebody, you got three pointed back at you. So it starts with you first. I know people might be looking at it like, well, I never looked at it. People might be pointing now and say, oh, I do got three fingers pointed at me. But it's always going to start with you. And as long as you understand that you got work to do with yourself, as long as you do it, I promise you, you will be that better person. You will be that light. You will, if you get rid of them baggages, you will be the person that people can understand with clarity. You will be the person that people sees as wisdom, as wise and understanding. We all have those attributes, but as long as we keep getting in our way, as long as we don't sacrifice ourselves, as long as we keep getting in our way, the light is going to be dimmed from you, and we will all understand that you have baggage. Some of us don't need to sit there, and we can just see it a mile away. The Bible says, try the spirit and see if the spirit is of God. Meaning, if it's on your wavelength, you would understand what it is. And if it ain't on your wavelength, you're gonna get away from it. I see that spirit. That's not a good spirit. I see that spirit. I can work with that spirit. It's plenty of times that word has said, yo, Gary, I can rock with you because yo, I see we have understanding. There's a calmness about you that I can rock with. Those are his words. And I appreciate that because I understand him a lot too. So that's why if I go on his live or if I catch his replays, I do things in specific reasons so that way he understands I'm talking about this part and part and part and part and not just rambling. Because I know he's like, yo, he be really on point. And that's my thing. I want to be on point so that way people understand that I'm here to understand them. You understand? Like I'm here to understand you. That's like if I miss a live on Meek, I'll put a number like Meek. This is what I was talking about. Oh, what you was talking about? That particular part right there. So that way you understand that I'm not here just to listen. I'm here to listen to understand what it is that you're trying to tell me because obviously if I'm rocking with you, I believe you have something to tell me, right? Man, the creator designed us so perfectly we don't understand to even understand to even overstand. Wisdom comes to those willing to receive it. Right. And that's the thing. Because at the end of the day, we all need to be fueled up. It's a reason why I made the short and I made that video last night because I was so in tune to like, yo, we gotta be fueled up because we get ready to take this trip. And as long as we taking this trip going forward, we got to leave the things that's behind us in the past. That baggage need to be left behind. We can't say we want to be in love with something and got so much hate because of yesterday. We can't do that. We have to understand that going forward, we need to be focused on going forward. We can't keep leaving. We can't just carry the stains of yesterday. Stop carrying the baggage of yesterday if it wasn't no good to you. If it didn't produce good fruit, that's why Jesus knocked down the fig tree because it wasn't bearing no good fruit. We have to understand that going forward, in order to be the light, we have to defeat the darkness. The darkness is the baggage that we are carrying that don't mean nothing for us to gain, no energy for us to use. This is why I don't deal with certain people. This is why you don't go to certain sectors. If you want to be updated, that's cool. I could be updated too. But if I know if it's no good, I could leave it where it's at. It's just like a tip. You leave the tip on the table believing that the person that's supposed to receive it is going to receive it. So too is our baggage. If we leave the baggage by the curb, the garbage man should be picking it up. Unless and if we live, no disrespect to those in projects, but if you throw it down the incinerator, you know it's going to be taken care of. That's the point. It's not a shot at anybody. When you leave the garbage where it needs to be, it's going to be taken care of. So leave the baggage. Stop taking your garbage with you. Unless you don't see a garbage, you carry it to the destination and put it in the garbage. You leave it where it's at. Stop carrying it for future endeavors because you're preparing to fail and your light is being dimmed. I've been hurt so bad, I don't know if somebody could love me. There's somebody right there trying to love you and you don't even receive it because you worried about the baggage in the back of your trunk. Let that go. What happened yesterday happened yesterday. If you didn't learn from it, leave it there. If you did learn from it, leave it there. What you carrying it for? There's no more lessons left in it. The lessons has already been taught. Leave the baggage where it needs to be left. Follow your light. Nobody wants to be in darkness forever. Darkness will allow you to sleep for a while, but we know when you see that first thing of light, what we do, we wake the hell up. It's time for us to wake up. Leave that darkness where it's at. Is the reason why the rooster crows when the crack of dawn is here. You don't hear no daggone rooster no other time. But the crack of dawn, listen, it's time to wake up. Y'all saw school days, wake up. Leave that baggage behind. Leave it right there where it's at. Whatever your journey is, whether it's to follow Jesus, follow Muhammad, doing the right thing, we got to leave those things behind. Follow Buddha, whatever religion it is, whoever's hearing this, you got to leave the baggage behind. You left the test behind because you passed it. If you failed it, you threw it out anyway, didn't you? Your first question is, well, how do I get this grade off of me? By being your better self, by following the structures of the light. You're going forward. You're going to do better than you did before. That's what our road should be going forward. The light is telling you you can be better. The darkness is telling you you're still in the doldrums. Go ahead and keep sleeping. Realists understand this. When Nas says sleep is the cousin of death, he ain't trying to sleep. He's trying to stay up in the light. He's trying to make sure, like, yo, that thing that's trying to hold me back, I'm not with that. That's how we should be. The thing that's keeping us stagnated, we ain't with that. That baggage that's holding us down, we ain't with that. Let it go. Go forward. Follow that light. Keep your eyes on the road. That's why that windshield is the biggest window that you got. Keep going forward. If you need to look back, look back. Make sure nothing's coming to pull you back. Make sure nothing is not allowing you to change lanes. And for those that are speeding, we know we look back because, hey, we might see those red and blue lights. We ain't trying to stop. We trying to go. We're not trying to be stopped for nothing. Stay in our lanes. Stay in our speed limits. Let's go. Let's be ready. Let's go forward. We can't keep sitting there worrying about what happened yesterday. We can't worry about what happened in 1986 or 84. Hey, that's 40 years ago. If that has that much power over you, your light has been dimmed. And I'm not, please understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying it wasn't that traumatic for the individual that feels that way. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that you have the power to overcome. And when you overcome that, you will see so clearly that ain't nothing can stop you. I was listening to something earlier, right? And it was saying how in the Bible talks about two animals in specific, right? The eagle and the lion, right? We all know the lion is the king of the jungle, right? He's the king of the jungle, even though he's not the tallest, he's not the biggest, but he knows his attitude can overcome a whole bunch of things, right? We all have that attitude. We all have the attitude of overcoming. We can sit there, we can knock down our Goliaths, right? We can move our mountains just by knowing that we can move it, by having faith, and the faith of knowing that we can move it, we can move the mountains, right? It's our attitude that gets us there. But we also got to have the eyes of the eagle. The eagles could see things so far up in the sky, it could pick out a rabbit and go scoop it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles up in the sky. It could see its prey and come down and scoop it. Our vision has to be that sharp on where we going. He ain't looking. He might see the garbage. That ain't for me. I'm bypassing. I'm not looking at that no more. I'm looking to eat. I'm looking to scoop up and keep going forward. I can soar with the wind and still look down and see that my vision is that great. I can pick you out. That's what makes some of us good. We got the vision to see it, but sometimes we block it because we got our baggage in the way. Our attitude may be great, but we've been so hurt by the baggage. We on some screw it type mode. Instead of saying, yo, we can overcome all of this. I can see my vision because it shows me where I need to go. My attitude is going to allow me to go where it needs to go. But some of us got so much baggage that we add on to ourselves. And in my case, it's, trying to see the better person in somebody that don't want to see it in themselves, that we get stuck in a place that we don't need to be. We get stuck in a position that we don't need to be in. And while we're doing that, all I'm saying is we're dimming the light, our light, to go forward and be the best us that we can be. All because we trying to help somebody or see something in somebody that they can't see in themselves. We have to stop doing that. We have to keep going forward. We have to understand that that light is there for a reason, because when that light goes out, we're going to be back in the darkness that we don't need to be in. That's why light is beautiful. That's what makes the light so awesome. Now I know in Alaska, they got 6 months of straight darkness and 6 months of straight light. I know they confused, but we don't have to be confused because we understand where we need to go. They may understand it because they lived there long enough. They may understand that. But if we go to Alaska, we ain't gonna know what to do. That's something new for us. Diane said, yeah, I stopped going to a lot of creatives. I just don't like the wordplay on the internet. Yeah, and that's why, Diane, that's why I kept saying before, like, we are not, some of us, a lot of us should understand that we're not content creators, but we're influencers. And if we are influencers, we understand that we can influence somebody one way or the other. We could influence somebody to keep their baggage with them, or we can influence somebody to keep going to the light, not to the light of death, but to the light of life, of goodness, of greatness, of peace, of joy, of understanding. But as long as we got them negative, you know, influencers, we're gonna always have to battle. Sometimes we may raise our voice just to be heard. But if we talk our normal tone, we can be heard, but there's a lot of noise behind us. Like my numbers may not be as great as a person in the beef sector. I don't really care. But if I make sure that one person could better themselves, I'm winning. Some people say numbers don't lie, right? I'm going to say it like this. They may not lie. It just may not be the way it's supposed to be, right? For example, if somebody scores 65 points in a basketball game, right? You score 65 points and lose. Was it worth it? You kept your team alive, but it wasn't worth it because you lost, which probably more than likely means your teammates wasn't involved in the game because you had to score 65 points. There was a fault somewhere that we're missing. If a quarterback, I'm sorry, ladies, if y'all don't understand what I'm saying, right? But I'm trying to make a point. Now, if a person is getting in football, if a person throws for 400 yards, right? 9 times out of 10, that team is getting blown out. Somebody got blown out somewhere. If the quarterback that lost throws for 400 yards, he was trying to throw himself back into his team into a game. But somebody failed him down the line. The defense may have failed him. His defenses were down. They probably gave up 40 points. And you throwing 400 yards just to get to 21 points. So while numbers may not lie, the way you get your numbers could be misinformative. It's not. It's a lack of information. You understand what I'm saying? If a person hits 70 home runs and their team is in last place, your team failed you. Right? So numbers can be very misrepresented. It may not lie, but your numbers are your numbers, but they may not mean what it's supposed to mean. It may mean that you're great, but everyone that's on your team is failing. And if you're a leader, you're supposed to lead to victory. So if you have that light and you're trying to bring people to the light, you must lead by example. If you carry any baggage, the people behind you is going to carry their own baggage. We ain't going nowhere. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't you can't make it drink it. And that's the thing that we have to work on. That's the thing that we really must understand. That as long as the baggage is in our way, we can't, the light is being dimmed. We're not really following our light because we're not moving at the pace that we need to go forward with. As long as there's baggage is with us, we have to do better. We have to do better. Not just you, not just him, not just her, not just me. We all got to do better because if we're all on the same format of trying to win, even though we are all individuals, if you're in the body of Christ, you got to do your part. It's not about it. Well, as long as I do my part, it's all good because you still lost if you're not winning. It's not a competition. It's a reason why I won't go on if I know somebody else is on. It's not because any other reason, but I want them to shine. If two of us are shining at the same time, it's better for that one person to shine because they could reach the person, they may reach the person better than I can. And if I piggyback off of them, we understand that we was all on the same page. That's fine with me. If like me and Meek do that all the time. I could say something and Meek will turn right around and have the same conversation. Like we're on the same page. And if we're doing it for the right reason, no one's gonna care. There's no I in team, but there's an I in win because we're gonna win. But as long as we keep worrying about our selfish desires, as long as we ain't sacrificing for the betterment of someone or something else, we're not gonna win. As long as that baggage is with us, we cannot go forward. We cannot win. We just can't, guys. And that's all. And that's all I'm saying. Because as long as that baggage is holding us up, it's really holding us up. It really is. I don't even know how to say it in any other way. It's holding us up. It's wearing us down. It's keeping us. It's keeping us. It's like we're walking in cement shoes. Where it could take you 5 minutes, it may take you 5 hours to get around the corner. But we know we need to turn the corner just to make sure that our light is still shining. It's time for us to step out of them shoes. Like I said in the video, it's time for us to fuel up. A lot of people say when they ready, they always ready. If you always ready, you should be on your path. If you always ready, you know that you got to clean out your car. That garbage can't go with you. There should be nothing in the trunk but your essentials. That's why Batman was, a lot of people feel that Batman was the greatest superhero because he had that daggone utility belt. He had no superpowers. He was just a mere man. But he's sitting there, he fighting Superman if he had to. He'd fight Wonder Woman. He'd fight all of these people just to allow people, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be on the Justice League, and I deserve to be kicking, the villain's tails too. That's how we are. We are mere mortals. But our light is going to shine so much that we can step to any foe. It may not be Goliath. May not have to be a giant, but there's someone that could be standing in your way, and you don't have to prove yourself, but you don't have a problem showing them I belong here. I hope this is making sense to people. But as long as you carry that garbage, we can't do nothing. That baggage, rather, we can't do nothing. Well, I could say garbage because the baggage ain't nothing but garbage because it's not helping us in the first place. But as long as we're doing what we need to do, we could chuck it out. We could throw it in. We could throw it out at the rest station. We could do it right then and there. So, I just know that we can do it. I understand that we all have that light in us. I truly believe that understand. You're right, real is quality over quantity. You're absolutely right. The quality of it doesn't mean that there's 1,000 people there, right? The quantity is not. It doesn't matter because you could have that one good person that could be better than a whole team. Michael Jordan was beating a whole team by himself. While we didn't understand it at that time, he might have been, like he's scoring 45 points. He's playing defense. He understood his greatness allowed him to say that y'all is so beneath me. I'm going to tear y'all up by myself. But we understand when he played certain teams in the beginning, he couldn't beat them. He didn't know his worth. He didn't know his value. He couldn't beat the Boston Celtics back. I'm sorry if I'm going back in time for some people, right? But he couldn't beat the Boston Celtics. He couldn't beat the Detroit Pistons. He understand that he needed to get rid of that garbage. Like, I need help. I can't do this by myself. And when he got the help, he reached the pinnacle of greatness. Now we give him all the credit, but there were some people out there making a way for him to be the greatest. You understand? So yeah, okay, Batman. But that's the thing. Like we all could be Batman, and you ladies could be Batgirls, Batwoman. You don't have to be Catwoman. You could be Batwoman. We could be Batman. As long as we understand that that garbage is not for us, we could be our greatest self, right? If we sit down and really believe that what God has for us is for us, we're gonna do everything to foresee that. We're gonna follow that route. We're gonna follow that road. We gotta follow that light that He has set for us, right? We can't just keep being in our own way. We can't just allow we can't allow the road to keep tripping us up. If we understand that God could turn a crooked road straight, I would rather be on the least traveled road than the one that's going to keep me in traffic. We have to understand that that's what it's for. We have to understand that that's the reason. Hey, Selena, congratulations too. You know what I mean? Like if I was just to use Selena right now, and this is no, this is not meant for disrespect. The road that she traveled through the hatred. She traveled through people trying to bring her down. She decided to put her baggage down. Now she's where she wants to be in her life and on YouTube because she understands that her light needs to go forward. She's not carrying the baggage of yesterday. She understands that what she's bringing from yesterday is for her good and not her detriment. And that's why that's why she left her baggage where it's at. And that's why she's winning, that because she's following her light. And that's all I'm trying to tell everybody else. We can follow the light as long as the baggage ain't holding us back. We all have these testimonies. We all have this understanding of why we ain't where we need to be if we're not where we need to be at this present time. We also have to understand that we can get there, but only if we leave the baggage behind us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it goes. It's a lot of people that have been through trials and tests, and a lot of people ain't make it out. Some people going through their own trials and finding themselves guilty before it even be brought to the judge. You gave up. That's what that means. That's what the baggage is gonna make you do. It's gonna make you give up. Now I can't go no further. These bags are too heavy. Instead of saying, you know what, whatever I don't need in here, I can carry. A lot of us need a crutch. That's a person's crutch because they don't want to do better for themselves. But as long as you understand that that light is going to get you where you need to go, you're going to leave that garbage where it's at. You're going to leave the baggage where it's at. And that's all I'm saying. Each and every one of us have a testimony. Each and every one of us understands how far we came from a trauma that has happened in our life, whether it's a death of a parent, whether it's a death of a loved one, a husband, a wife, a sibling, whatever, a boyfriend, whatever the situation was, whatever trauma that has happened to you, a lot of us have overcome. And if we haven't overcome, it's because we kept the baggage of the hurt and the pain that's keeping us down. Instead of, the person that we're grieving for, they would want the best for us. Let's follow that path. But we get so stuck in our ways because nobody wants to lose. When you lose a loved one, nobody wants to lose that loved one. But a lot of us, we're so hurt, we're not even understanding that person is no longer in pain. That person could be remembered as the loving person that we remember them as. But we so hurt that we lost them. It might feel like a double loss if they was going through the pain while they was still alive. And we had to sit there and watch it. Some of us were caretakers and had to watch that. So that pain could be, we bag that pain up so much that, listen, I'm going to love you until I die. Instead of saying, and instead of just loving them till they die, we carrying that baggage of the pain. Damn, my such and such was in pain. Boy, it was just so painful to watch. I need to remember that all the time. No, remember the fact that they would want you to go forward. They would want you to say, you know what? I am in a better place. I can't feel that pain no more. You go ahead and whatever you put on hold for me, you go ahead and jump back on that horse and strive for it. You race towards that finish line. You get to the finish line and you cross it. The race is never given to the swift nor the strong, but to those that endure. And if you can endure that pain, you could still get to your goal. Like, I did it for you, such and such. I know this is what you want me to do. I know this is the right thing to do. I made the fit. I crossed the finish line. I did it. Yeah, because nobody wants to see nobody suffer. And because of that, we hold that pain so long, right? We hold it in. We hold it in. Damn, I miss such and such. Like, for me, I miss my mama. I miss my mama, but then I say, you know what, Ma, I still did what you would want me to do. I still try to keep the family intact, even if they being knuckleheads and don't want to follow suit. The fact that I tried is what you would want me to do. I can't keep everybody in line. They are all individuals that are grown, but I did the best that I can. And I know one thing for sure. God said you did your part, but if we not living for God, we living through our parents, in mind, I know you would be proud, right? Not to discount God. I'm just saying those that love their parents in that format. Like, I love my mom to death, but I know that I did everything that I can. So I ain't carrying the baggage of her not being here. I'm carrying the baggage of her wanting to see me do the things that she felt was right while I'm still here. That's the point, right? So that's the way. Oh, thank you, Ms. V. Good afternoon. Those are the things that we're striving for, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you take the time and not hold yourself accountable for the baggage, you could be your great self. You know what I mean? Uh, like, I don't know what everybody's tragedies have, what they've been through, but I know everybody just don't want to be good. They want to be great. You know what I mean? You go ahead and search for the things that you need to search for in order to elevate yourself into the greatness. You follow the light to greatness. You don't follow darkness into mediocrity, right? He said, "Bro, I got to find that live I did on how to store memories. I think you would enjoy it." I probably would. Miss V, good afternoon once again. Listen, y'all, if y'all trying to be if y'all trying to be great on these YouTube streets, if y'all trying to understand, how these streets, the underlying rules and regulations and how to rock on they level, y'all check Miss V out. She's one of those people that's making sure she's on top of her game on these YouTube streets. She could tell you the ins and outs because she understands that the one thing she want to be on here is great, and if she's willing to sacrifice her greatness to help somebody else, that's her light. That's what she wants to do. We appreciate her value. We appreciate her efforts. I'm suggesting that y'all go ahead and meet her where she's at, because she understands these streets, because she's taking the time to understand these streets. She want to be great in these streets. She want everybody to be great in these streets, just like the word, just like Selena, just like everybody that's here. Everybody wants to see everybody win. That's the reason why we would tell somebody, yo, listen, sub up to that person. Check them out. They can help you they can add to you and not hinder you. And each and every one of y'all that's here, I believe I'm not going to believe right now. I know that y'all can do that for each other. Sub up to each other. The word says it plain as day. Don't sub up because you just like them. Sub up because they can help you win. They can help you succeed in whatever aspect you're trying to get to. Without some of y'all, I may not have the courage to say, yo, I can stand up here and talk to you guys for however length of time that I'm on right now. It's you guys that pour into me, and hopefully I'm pouring into y'all. But if we pour into each other, that's what makes us great. And for those of you that drink, some of y'all like chasers. But if y'all combine the drinks together, it'll be better for you. You'll love it even more. Just act like that. Pour into each other to where we great. We hydrate each other. If y'all want to be purists, act like we above H2O. We H3O. We are that strong together. We can all pour into each other, that we ain't carrying no baggage, that we all could be the beacons of light. We're tired of allowing the minority of the negative people sound louder than what we're sounding. That's our hindrance. We can't keep worrying about them. Just keep doing it one step at a time, one day at a time. We will get to our goals. Continue to follow your light. We may not get there as fast as those negative people, but we will get there. So, in ending this live, I just want to tell y'all, listen, man, it's time to put the baggage down. We carrying baggage that's not going to improve us. It's only hindering us. Follow the light. And if we are the light, let's continue to brighten each other up, and let's take the baggage from each other and throw it where it belongs, in the garbage. So I just want to thank everybody that stopped through. If I didn't shout everybody out, I apologize. I was just, this thing was supposed to have been, this live was supposed to happen maybe a couple of days. It was supposed to happen last night, but me being me, and this is why I'm chastising myself at the same time. I'm stopping what I need to do to try to help somebody that may not be appreciative of what I'm doing. Even with that, I can't allow myself to be stopped from doing what I feel like is right, even though I think it was right for me to help the person, but they didn't receive it. I gotta dust my I gotta dust the shoes, the dust off my shoes, and keep going forward. That's why I'm more upset with myself in this live than normal, because I gotta stop putting other people. I gotta be there for the people that want me there, and not keep circling back for those that just want to be stagnant, plain Janes and plain Joes. I gotta help the people that want to improve and not be stagnant. So that's why I said, we gotta stop. We gotta stop worrying about the baggage, and we gotta focus on the light. And that's what I suggest to each and every one of you guys. Continue to be a blessing. Continue to understand that you guys are actual storehouses, but more importantly, you guys are a beacon of light. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody that came through. Uh, you know, until next time, everybody. I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Have a good one.